Yo, 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 what is up, everybody? My name is Jeremy Schumacher. I am a licensed marriage and family therapist. I'm the Jer in Wellness with Jer. Thanks for stopping by and checking out the channel today. We're back with another song review, newer song. I hate to say it's a new song when it's going to end up being like something that was out for like 8 months and I just missed it. It has been on our local radio station a bunch, in a good way, not a bad way. So today we're gonna do Waxahatchee, their song "Much Ado About Nothing." This is an elaborate ruse, so I can complain about Shakespeare later. Good song. Band that's been around for a while. 2010, I think they formed. So they're going to be on a bunch of end of the year lists for a different song that they did. I don't understand how the algorithm works, so I'm not doing the popular song. I'm doing the new song. Much Ado About Nothing by Waxahatchee. Also, I couldn't find a lyric video, and y'all know I'm neurodivergent, and I like to have my lyrics on screen for my neurodivergent folks, but I couldn't find one, so please don't take my video down. Much Ado About Nothing. Let's do it.
I throw it in the right direction. Please don't look my way. You stare directly in my eyes, 'cause you are brave. You drive around in circles, talking yourself out of rushing. And I sit alone and wait so patient. Much ado about nothing.
We're just gonna stop it right there. Uh, I shouldn't like this song, and I think that's why I'm doing a review of it, so I can process in real time with y'all. Thanks for coming along for the ride. Why I like it? Because it's sort of in that like vein of singers who are like overly breathy. It's like, are you trying to get in touch with the ASMR crowd? It's like the sultry Christmas songs of like, I'm dreaming. I can't do it. I have no musical talent. That's my whole bit. But where they're like just overly breathy and like, I don't know. I don't know why they do it. It doesn't sound good. And I keep listening to the song because I think it sounds good. So I'm not sure what it is about the song that gets it out of that headspace for me and into a thing where I can like it and appreciate it. But yeah, stop doing the breathy thing, everyone. It's not great. I can't put into terms what gets the song out of it. Much Ado About Nothing. There's a name drop. I love a song that references itself, um, or like a title that is just like, yeah, we're just gonna go with this line. Much Ado About Nothing is a famous play by Billy Shakespeare. That famous plagiarist we like to pretend who's like he's great at things. This is a soapbox of mine, and I'm gonna go off on it because I can't bring up Shakespeare without first of all, Shakespeare wasn't even the most popular playwright of his time. Christopher Marlowe was. How many Marlowe plays have we studied? None. Your high school English teacher doesn't even know who Christopher Marlowe is. Second, Shakespeare was a plagiarist. Yeah, he was good at iambic pentameter, which isn't an easy thing to do, but isn't an impossible thing to do. And like, he just made up a bunch of words. He's credited with making up 1,200 words, which again, like, yeah, you're great at rhyming if you make up a bunch of words. Snoop Dogg's added izzle to a lot of things for his career. Is he the best lyricist of our time? Absolutely not. Uh, Hamlet is just retelling of the Dutch story Hamlet. Literally just took a letter from the back. He pig Latined Hamlet into existence. Romeo and Juliet is retelling of Pyramus and Thisbe. My point isn't that Shakespeare wasn't talented. He obviously was, but that we don't give it enough credit for like he just did modern retellings of things, which happens with a lot of theater and like movies and media. Like, great, make it modern. Sharks and Jets, let's go. Like, I'm here for it. Much Ado About Nothing isn't his best work. It's a play about people lying to each other and possible cuckolding. Like, The mega crowd's fascination with cuckolding isn't new. It's back in Shakespeare's day. It also is like a double entendre around nothing and noting. Used to sound much more similar before we had the phonetic shift or whatever happened, where we enunciate words much differently. But yeah, old Billy Shakes was having some fun with this one that I don't think translates that well to modern humor or like comedy. Just kind of like people go to a masquerade ball and they lie to each other and then they fight. So I don't know. This is like not really that, but I think it's a nod to the relational distress that is in that play. If you're interested, it's not great, but yeah, people freak out and try and break up and like fight about whether they're loyal to each other or not. Much ado about nothing. And like, yeah, it just kind of ends with like big wanking motion. I'm like, yeah, didn't amount to anything. The fuck are we doing? Spoiler alert for this song. Uh, you stare. Don't look my way. You stare directly in my eyes because you are brave. You drive around in circles, talking yourself out of rushing, and I sit alone and wait so patient. Much ado about nothing. This whole song is the relational angst of this couple who's like trying to figure it out, and like I like this song because like we lose our minds in relationships. We go a little crazy early on in a relationship. We burn bright, right? Like lots of hormones, lots of pheromones. How exciting for my ADHD crowd out there! Lots of dopamine. Like these things are fun. Um, but it is predominantly just hormones and pheromones. That honeymoon phase is going to last you a little bit. If it's a healthy relationship, if it's got some legs, I'm going to put it at like 18 months of honeymoon phase, maybe even 2 years. That would be a long honeymoon phase or a really good fit. But I'm also the kind of person who says, like, you can have a long term relationship with 7, 10, a dozen. The potential to have a long term relationship with multiple people exists. Human beings as a species are not monogamous. We're not voles. We're not emperor penguins. We have multiple mates throughout the course of our history. And so the way that like monogamy sort of exists in our current culture is very much just a social construct and it's deeply tied with patriarchy and colonialism. So that's fun. But yeah, we start off a relationship and we get all angsty. So like good for this person for driving around. I like the nod to like don't rush, take your time. I'd rather have you take a timeout, take a break. Timeouts are the first thing I teach couples that come to couples therapy. And most of them, 95% of the couples I work with, I teach how to do timeouts. Timeouts have two parts. First, call timeout, vocalize timeout. Timeout signifies we're at our point. This can't end well. It's going to get worse from here. Let's take a break. And then the second part, what makes timeouts work is call timeout, set a time frame. When are we coming back to this conversation? I need a 20-minute break. Let's talk about it tomorrow night. I'm exhausted, whatever it is. So I like the drive around in circles, not rushing. Like that's good coping. I'd rather have that than getting into a huge argument or doing some damage in that argument. Take your breaks. Much ado about nothing. And like much ado about nothing there kind of works too, is like driving around in circles. I don't know. It's self-referential. There's a lot of fun wordplay in the song. I think that's probably why I like this song. Okay, I'm gonna wax poetic on other things. So let's get back to it. Let's share the screen.
Always the easiest to love and hardest to claim. Knock down everyone else around me and shout out my name. My pride is snapping like a branch, shouting at my brain. My friends are making their assumptions. I was just looking for pain. Oh no, I'm down and out. I'm tragically a mess. Tell you I'm undefeated. I'm not worth fighting with. Oh no, I've lost my mind. I've lost my mind again. Tell you I'm razor sharp. I'm terrifying.
Okay. Just stop it in the middle of the verses here. There's so much to like about this song. Always the easiest to love, hardest to claim, knock down everyone else around me and shout out my name. So again, I think this is referencing early on in the relationship where like we're sort of in that insecure comparison stage. Easiest to love, hardest to claim could be like somebody who's really engaging, somebody who like people fall in love with often. They're that person who's just like captures attention. Um, in the context of like Much Ado About Nothing, that doesn't make sense because that's not the play. Like it's anyway. We're gonna leave Billy Shakes and his plays alone. I think I'll try. I'll try to stop complaining about William Shakespeare. Um, but that person who like is super engaging and people fall in love with them often, and yet they don't settle down. I put that in air quotes because like I think that's patriarchal. I think the idea that like the preferred setting is to settle down, that's the best outcome, is like a weird colonial thing. I don't think that's true. Um, my pride is snapping like a branch, shouting at my brain. My friends are making their assumptions. I was just looking for pain. So the way the song is written is like I think there's a comma, a period, there's some sort of punctuation there. That's how I'm taking it because later in the song, it's reference again. I was just looking for pain. That like I don't want to say this person's a masochist necessarily, but like they're searching for something. They've got an itch they're scratching at, whether it's love, whether it's intimacy, it's connection, it's dopamine, it's fun, it's entertainment, whatever it is, they're like looking for it, even if the relationship isn't there, even if the relationship doesn't have the legs or the stability to support whatever they're looking for. They're not maybe getting their needs met, but they're still messing with this relationship. And that comes up in some of the later verses. Uh, and so like their pride is snapping like a branch, shouting at their brain. Their friends have their opinion. So like we're engaging in this relationship when maybe we shouldn't be, when we're like, I don't say we know better, but and friends, I'm gonna put a caveat around this because I don't know that as a marriage therapist, I've heard a ton of great social support from people, sort of the opinion that like the advice you get is worth what you pay for it. So like friends offering their personal opinions maybe aren't all that great. And if everyone in your life is saying like, yo, red flags, asterisk, 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 what are you doing? That might be a good indicator to pause, to take a moment to double check some things. Doesn't mean we need to abandon ship. It just means like maybe slow it down, take stock. Um, oh no, I'm down and out. I'm tragically amiss. Love that lyricism, tragically amiss. Tell you I'm undefeated. I'm not worth fighting with. Again, just sort of like this over the top, almost like performative nature in this song of like this person who's singing doesn't have it all together, and yet like they're putting on this idea as if like they're undefeated, you know? Uh, so then the next line is, "Oh no, I've lost my mind. I've lost my mind again. Tell you I'm razor sharp, terrifying." Like they're not. They don't have their shit together at all. And is it the airs we put on in a new relationship? We're trying to seem a certain way. We're presenting some version of ourselves, which is absolutely what we do in an early relationship. So again, like I love this song, I think, because it's accurate. I love this song because I think it's showing up as like this is what new relationships look like. They're messy. They might not end up amounting to anything, and they're super intense. They take up a lot of our time and energy. Whoops. There we go. Let's continue.
I call somebody, anybody, chasing off my dread. I watch the yellow roses die, a symbolic death. I watch the sky fill up with shapes I cannot explain. I tell you every passing
song. Good song. Ah, see, I think she doesn't say that like super breathy. It's not as bad as it is in some songs. I'm gonna have to like find another song to just complain about it, so y'all know what I'm talking about. Um, I call somebody, anybody, chasing off my dread. Again, good coping. I'm here for it. Talk to someone. When you get too far in your own head, another person's really grounding. Um, Call somebody, anybody. I just saw Maria Bamford. Shout out to Maria Bamford. She does a joke about like suicide hotlines are not always well staffed, and so she just calls anybody. I think there's a version of the joke where she calls like um, I don't remember who she calls. There's a version where she calls like Home Depot or something like that, or Stamps.com. The version that I saw is she called a abortion clinic. Um, One of the like right wing Christiany ones that like aren't actually clinics. They try and talk you out of it, and so she's as like a 55-year-old woman calling, and they're very confused. Um, but yeah, call somebody, anybody. Like somebody picking up the phone will get your head out of that different space. They talk a lot about changing our physical environment. If you change your physical environment, your mental environment changes. That stimulation, that stimuli of having a conversation with another human being will also do that. So yeah, call somebody, call anybody. Chasing off my dread. I watched the yellow roses die, a symbolic death. Again, like, are they dying a symbolic death? Does their death only have meaning in its symbolism, or is she saying, "I watched these yellow roses die, and the symbolism is hitting me"? Like, I like sort of the like interplay between where the punctuation in the song would exist, because I think it changes the meaning a little bit. Um, I'm taking it as like the symbolism is hitting her specifically, um, as this relationship, right? It was beautiful. It bloomed quickly and then died out, right? Like this thing that happened too fast, and then it's gone. Watch the sky fill up with shapes I cannot explain. I tell you every passing thought, clouds going by, every passing thought. It's a good DBT, dialectical behavior therapy technique, is to imagine our thoughts as clouds or as writing them in sand and watching them wash away, seeing them in a candle, putting them on a piece of paper and putting that through a candle and it goes up in smoke. Like, so again, like there's all this weird sort of like healthy coping in the song that sounds sort of unhinged and unstable. Again, then the callback, I was just looking for pain. Um, oh no, the earth is moving, the groundwork's compromised. We're not on stable ground. Tell you to lose my number, then I call you twice. This is maybe my favorite line in the song. Just because like this is how human beings do relationship. We're so paradoxical. We'll do these things that like in the moment seems really intentional and like we very much meant it. And then like that's not where we land at all. And in the context of relationship, this is how humans interact. Like where I see people at their best and also at their worst, at their absolute worst, is in a relationship that's ending. Like a marriage therapist, I see people going through divorce, I see people splitting up, all this stuff. Like the throwing the clothes out, the starting stuff on fire, the like leaving 37 voicemails, like all this cringy, embarrassing stuff that people would not do in their right mind, they're doing as their relationships end. So tell you to lose my number, like we're over, it's done, see you later, bye, and then call you twice. Like we as human beings don't stick with it. And then the earth is moving, the groundwork's compromised. Like, right, like when we're not stable, when we're not being well resourced, we're not our steady selves, like we do these kind of crazy making things. Crazy for ourselves and then crazy making for this other person who was in the relationship previously, who still is in the relationship. Oh no, it's getting dark. Everyone's eyes on me. Light me up with one spark. Relish the anarchy. Like, um, again, like I love the lyricism in the song. Like, just imagine like you're at this coffee shop and you call this person, you leave this really dramatic voicemail. Everyone's eyes are on you, or like you're rolling into like your family party or your best friend's birthday party or whatever with your ex, and like everyone's judging you. Relish the anarchy. Um, Yeah, I love it. So then light me up with one spark, relish anarchy. There's a break there, but then I leave every light on, hunting bygones. Like I think that's the searching for pain, like the looking for something that isn't there anymore, trying to catch that spark. I hear that a lot in couples therapy. Gang, like we can't do that. That's not possible. That's hormones and pheromones. That's what that spark is. we can have a stable relationship that is full of deep, meaningful love. And we can have new and novel experiences in that. We can create new sparks, but like going backwards is the wrong idea. We're not trying to hunt bygones. We're trying to create new, healthy things. And so, we're not trying to like, I use gardening analogies a lot in therapy. We're not trying to get last year's harvest again. We're trying to plant something new and get a brand new harvest this year. That's kind of the idea of a relationship. Is we plant new things, we harvest, we weed, we do the work to get new continual growth, as opposed to like, remember that year we had the best crop ever. Um, Play it off like I'm cynical, but I sweat, swear, say a prayer, stare at your picture. It's visceral. Like, yeah, that's the relationship part. That's the relationship. So the other thing that I think is in the song is like maybe like an early crush. Much ado about nothing. Cringing for a second here, but thinking of like a high school crush, like we're not still attracted to that person, like your first crush in high school. That's just hormones and pheromones. Um, Somebody's really offended right now because they married their high school sweetheart. Um, yeah, like much ado about nothing. Think about like the heartbreak of like a high school sophomore going through their first breakup. Like it's world ending for them. Oh, my little heart breaks for them. And it also doesn't matter. Like you didn't want to stick together with Timmy from your hometown. Like he's a douchebag. So the much ado about nothing again, unlike those early crushes or those relationships that didn't go anywhere, there is a visceral nature because it is just our body. It's not much of our brain doing anything, and it's crushing. And that's where I don't think it's all about high school crushes. I think it is a relationship that was like deep and meaningful, and also short lived, or like swings and a miss, like wrong place, um, right person, wrong time. Like we have those dynamics in relationships where people. I'll have elderly folks in my office who talk about like an early relationship that just like didn't pan out the way they thought it was going to, or people regret about like sticking in a marriage that maybe they should have broken up earlier, or um, you know pursued something with someone else. So I tend to maintain, again, there's a handful of people at least, if not more, that we could have a long-term relationship with. In the pagan community spaces, they do hand binding, and it's like a 7-year commitment, as opposed to like happily ever after is only defined by like forever till death do us part. It's kind of like, let's do our next chapter together. And I think again, like that's pretty realistic. I think that's more realistic than like our weird Hallmark version of monogamy. That's like again patriarchal. Um, but like it is crushing to perhaps feel these big feelings and not have anything come out of it. And I think that's the wrong way to look at it. To look at it, the only outcome that's a success is like married forever. Like nah, like the experience, the connection, even if it ends up being about nothing, was not that passage of time, was not everything mentioned in the song meaningful in some way. The yellow rose is symbolic death. So yeah, I don't think the song lands on any sort of like main message other than like we're just mammals on a rock spinning at 600,000 miles an hour around a star that's going to burn out someday. It's past the time, you know. Which like is also self-referential for like art and music. Like that's lovely in a dark, macabre sort of way. Um, Waxahatchee, again, I think like they're on a lot of people's, going to be on a lot of people's best albums, songs of the years list. Maybe on your Spotify Wrapped. I don't do Spotify, so not participating in the capitalism. I am, because we have to pay for music streaming. Just I don't use Spotify. So yeah, that's Waxahatchee off of the Tiger's Blood album from 2024, which again I think it was on NPR or not NPR. It's not Variety. What were the people who just do music reviews? I don't know. I'm asking you. I'm recording right now. But yeah, I've seen it on some of the best lists. Not this song specifically, but they did one with RJ Lenderman. Just blanking. My brain is struggling to think of the name of the music magazine that isn't a magazine anymore. Anyway, Waxahatchee. You might be hearing more of them in the near future. Maybe I just listen to weird indie music and you won't hear more of them. But Much Ado About Nothing, good song, good band, check them out. Good album that this is off of. So yeah, hopefully this was interesting. Drop down in the comments if there's a different song or artist you'd like to hear me review. We do shows, movies, that type of stuff, talking about the mental health aspects in that. I need to do a breakup song soon. It's been a minute. So yeah, drop down in the comments. Let me know that. Like and subscribe. It helps. I'm a small YouTube channel. I don't do this professionally, but if I get subscribers and likes and views and all that stuff, and the algorithm likes me a little bit more, then I can spend more time on this stuff and, I don't know, get a nicer microphone or something. So yeah, like, subscribe. Thanks for stopping by and checking out the channel today. Take care of yourself. Take care of somebody else. Peace.